What is the status
across
of
the
the deep
galaxy
space
like
fleet?
wildfire.
They are
On every
holding
space
position,
station,
awaiting
every
our
colony
command.
world, every trading
We
post,
must
beings
vote
were talking
now.
about the same thing. The humans had done it again. They had wiped out the entire Zephyrian cartel without even trying to talk first. Ambassador Elena Vasquez stood in her quarters aboard the diplomatic station orbiting Centauri Prime. She watched the news feeds from dozens of different
What is the
species,
status of the
each
deep
one
space
showing the
fleet?
same images.
They are holding position,
Burned Zephyrian
awaiting
ships
our
floating in
command.
space.
We
Empty
must
criminal
vote
bases that
now.
once housed thousands. The complete destruction of one of the galaxy's most powerful crime organizations. The reactions were mixed. Some species cheered. The Melodians had suffered under Zephyrian pirates for decades. The peaceful Altarians had lost countless trade ships to their raids.
What is the status
But
of the
others were
deep
afraid.
space fleet?
Very afraid.
They are holding position,
Elena's
awaiting
communication
our
system
command.
beeped. She
We
answered
must
to
vote
find herself
now.
looking at High Counselor Thex of the Galactic Council. His blue skin was darker than usual, a sign of stress in his species. Ambassador Vasquez, Thex said, his voice tight. The Council demands an explanation. Your species destroyed an entire organization without any attempt at
What is the
negotiation.
status of the
This
deep
goes
space
against every
fleet?
principle of galactic
They are holding
law.
position,
Elena sat
awaiting our
down calmly.
command.
She had
We must
expected
vote
this
now.
call. High Counselor, the Zephyrian cartel murdered innocent beings for profit. They killed children. They sold people into slavery. We don't negotiate with murderers, but there are proper channels, Thex insisted. Diplomatic solutions, trade agreements, prisoner exchanges.
What is the status
These methods
of
have
the
kept
deep
peace
space
in the
fleet?
galaxy for thousands
They
of
are
years.
holding position,
Peace?
awaiting our
Elena
command.
raised an eyebrow.
We must
Tell
vote
that to
now.
the families of the beings the cartel killed last week. Tell that to the slaves they were selling yesterday. Your diplomatic solutions only work if everyone agrees to follow the rules. Murderers don't follow rules. Thex's skin grew even darker. Your species is dangerous, Ambassador. This complete
What is the
refusal
status
to
of the deep
negotiate,
space fleet?
It frightens other
They are holding
civilizations.
position,
Good,
awaiting our
Elena
command.
said simply.
We
It
must
should
vote
frighten
now.
the criminals. As for everyone else, they have nothing to fear from us unless they choose to harm innocents. The call ended abruptly. Elena turned back to the news feeds. She knew this was just the beginning. 3 systems away in the dark space between stars, 3 ships met in secret. They belonged
What is the
to the most
status of the
powerful
deep
criminal
space fleet?
organizations in the galaxy.
They are holding position,
The Corvin
awaiting
Blood
our
Fleet,
command.
known for their
We
brutal
must vote
raids on
now.
colony worlds. The Synthetic Liberation Front, who kidnapped organic beings and turned them into cyborg slaves. The Nexus Slavers, who had been trading in sentient life for over 200 years. Commander Vrak of the Blood Fleet spoke first. His red eyes glowed in the darkness of his ship's
What
bridge.
is the status of the
The
deep
humans
space
have made
fleet?
themselves our enemy.
They are holding
They
position,
destroyed the
awaiting our
Zephyrians
command.
completely. No survivors.
We must vote now.
No negotiations. No mercy. Captain Steelmind of the Liberation Front processed the information through his cybernetic brain. Analysis confirms threat level maximum. Human behavior pattern does not match galactic standard. They eliminate rather than negotiate. The third voice
What is
belonged
the
to
status
Overseer
of the deep
Quintex of
space
the Nexus
fleet?
Slavers.
They are
Her
holding
tentacles
position,
writhed as she
awaiting
spoke.
our command.
In 3,000
We
years
must
of
vote
operation,
now.
no species has ever acted this way. They always negotiate. They always make deals, but not the humans. What do we know about their capabilities? Vrak asked. Steelmind's cybernetic eye flickered. Fleet strength, significant but not overwhelming. Technology
What is
level,
the status of the deep
advanced
space
but not
fleet?
superior to combined
They are holding
forces.
position, awaiting
Weakness,
our
small
command.
population, limited
We must
territory.
vote now.
Then we can defeat them, Quintex said, her tentacles settling. But only if we work together, something that has never been done before. The 3 commanders looked at each other through their communication screens. They had been enemies for decades, competing for territory and resources.
What is
But
the
the humans
status
had
of the
changed
deep
everything.
space fleet?
Agreed,
They are
Vrak
holding
said
position,
finally.
awaiting our
Alliance
command.
formed.
We
Target
must
human
vote
colonies
now.
and shipping. Goal: force negotiation or destroy them completely. Confirmed, Steelmind responded. Agreed, Quintex added. The humans will learn that some forces in this galaxy are too strong to simply eliminate. Back on the diplomatic station, Elena was meeting
What is
with
the status of
representatives
the
from
deep
over
space
20
fleet?
different species.
They are holding position,
The main conference
awaiting our
room was
command.
filled with beings of all
We
shapes
must
and
vote
sizes.
now.
Some breathed the same air as humans. Others needed special suits or breathing apparatus. All of them wanted to understand what humanity was really planning. Ambassador, said Representative Cole of the Thraxian Republic, your species' actions have created concern
What is
among
the
peaceful
status of the deep
civilizations.
space fleet?
We need to know your
They
intentions.
are holding position,
Elena looked
awaiting
around
our
the room.
command.
She saw
We
fear
must
in many
vote
eyes,
now.
but also hope in others. Our intentions are simple. We want to live in peace with all civilizations that respect life and freedom. We want to trade, learn, and grow together. And those who don't respect life and freedom, asked Minister Dahl of the Centauri Union. We eliminate them, Elena said
What
without
is the
hesitation.
status of the Deep Space Fleet?
Completely.
They are
A
holding
shocked silence
position,
filled the
awaiting
room.
our command.
Finally, Elder
We
Wayne
must
of the
vote
Ancient
now.
Covenant spoke. But surely there must be some room for negotiation. Perhaps rehabilitation programs. Maybe economic sanctions. Elena shook her head. Tell me, Elder Wayne, how do you negotiate with someone who kills children for profit? What economic sanction stops a slaver from selling sentient
What is the
beings?
status of the
How do
Deep
you
Space
rehabilitate
Fleet?
someone who enjoys
They are holding
causing
position,
suffering?
awaiting
These are
our
complex
command.
issues, Wayne replied.
We must vote now.
They require careful consideration, time, and wisdom. While they require consideration, Elena said, more innocents die. Every day spent in negotiations is another day of suffering for their victims. We choose to end that suffering quickly and permanently. Representative Cole shifted
What is the
nervously.
status of the
But
Deep
what if you
Space
make
Fleet?
mistakes?
They are
What if
holding
you target
position,
the wrong
awaiting our
organization?
command.
We don't make
We
those
must
kinds
vote
of mistakes,
now.
Elena replied. We investigate thoroughly. We gather evidence. We make sure. But once we're certain that an organization profits from murder and suffering, we act without delay. The meeting continued for hours. Some representatives left early,
What is the
clearly
status of
disturbed
the
by
Deep Space
humanity's
Fleet?
position.
They are
Others
holding
stayed to ask more
position,
questions.
awaiting our command.
A few even approached
We must
Elena
vote
privately
now.
afterward. Minister Dahl was one of them. Ambassador, he said quietly. The Centauri Union has been dealing with pirate attacks for 50 years. Our diplomatic efforts have failed repeatedly. The pirates take our offers of negotiation as signs of weakness. Elena
What is the
studied
status
tall,
of the
thin
Deep
minister.
Space Fleet?
Are you asking for
They
our
are
help?
holding position,
Unofficially,
awaiting
yes.
our command.
Our government
We
cannot
must vote
publicly
now.
support your methods. But privately, we are tired of watching our people suffer while we negotiate with murderers. We'll consider it, Elena said. Send us the details of the pirate organization. If they fit our criteria, we'll take action. As the diplomatic meeting ended, Elena
What is
returned
the
to
status of
reporters.
the Deep Space
She had
Fleet?
3 messages
They are
waiting.
holding position,
One from Earth
awaiting our
confirming
command.
support for her position.
We must vote
One
now.
from the human military, reporting increased readiness across all fleets. And one that made her smile. The message was from a freed slave on the former Zephyrian world of Karos. It was simple. Thank you for not talking to them. Thank you for saving us.
What is
Elena
the
sat
status
back
of the
in her
Deep
chair.
Space Fleet?
The galaxy was
They
afraid
are
of
holding
humanity's
position,
methods.
awaiting our command.
The criminals were forming
We
alliances
must vote
against
now.
them. The politicians wanted negotiations and compromise. But somewhere out there, beings who had been suffering under criminal rule were finally free. She thought about the choice her species had made. They could have followed galactic tradition. They could have spent years in negotiations,
What is the
prisoner
status of the
exchanges,
Deep
and
Space
diplomatic
Fleet?
solutions.
They are holding
They could have
position,
been accepted
awaiting
and
our
praised by
command.
the galactic community.
We must vote now.
Instead, they had chosen to be feared by the wicked and loved by the innocent. It was not an easy choice, but Elena knew it was the right one. The galaxy would have to learn to accept humanity's way of doing things. Because humans had learned something that the rest of the galaxy seemed to have forgotten.
What is
Some
the
evils
status
were
of
too
the
great
Deep
to
Space
negotiate
Fleet?
with.
They are
Some
holding
enemies were
position,
too dangerous
awaiting
to allow
our
to
command.
exist.
We
And
must
sometimes
vote
the
now.
only way to protect the innocent was to completely destroy those who would harm them. The humans would not back down. They would not compromise with murderers. And the galaxy was about to learn what that really meant. The attacks began 3 weeks later. They came without warning and hit multiple
What is the
human
status
targets
of
at
the
the same
Deep
time.
Space Fleet?
Colony ships,
They are
trading
holding
stations,
position,
and civilian
awaiting our
transports were
command.
struck across
We
5
must
different
vote
star
now.
systems. The criminals had planned well. Captain Marcus Chen was aboard the UES Retribution when the first reports came in. His ship was patrolling the outer rim of human space, one of 12 heavy cruisers keeping watch for exactly this kind of threat. The communication officer's
What
face
is the
was pale
status
as he
of the Deep
delivered the
Space
news.
Fleet?
Sir,
They are holding
we're
position,
receiving distress
awaiting
calls
our
from New
command.
Geneva Colony,
We must
Terra
vote
Station
now.
7, and the merchant vessel Prosperity. All report attacks by unknown forces. Marcus moved to the main screen. The tactical display showed red markers spreading across human space like a disease. How many ships? What kind of firepower? Unknown, sir. But the attack patterns suggest coordination
What is the
between
status of
different
the Deep
criminal
Space
organizations.
They are
The
holding
signatures
position,
match Corvin
awaiting our
synthetic and
command.
Nexus technologies.
We must vote now.
Marcus felt his jaw tighten. The 3 most dangerous criminal groups in the galaxy, working together. This was exactly what Earth Command had been worried about. Get me a channel to all human vessels in the area. Emergency frequency. The communication officer's fingers moved quickly
What is
across
the
his
status
console.
of the deep space
Channel
fleet?
open, sir.
They are holding
All
position,
human vessels, this
awaiting
is
our
Captain Chen
command.
of the UES
We must
Retribution.
vote now.
We are under coordinated attack by multiple criminal organizations. Follow Omega Protocol. Protect civilians, engage hostile forces, take no prisoners. The responses came back quickly. 12 different captains confirmed their orders. No one questioned the take no prisoners command. In
What
the
is the
human fleet,
status
certain
of the
things
deep
were
space
understood
fleet?
without explanation.
They are holding position,
3 hours later, the
awaiting our
criminals made their
command.
next move.
We must vote
A
now.
massive holographic transmission appeared across the galaxy, broadcast on every major communication channel. It showed a being that many recognized as Overseer Quintex of the Nexus Slavers. People of the galaxy, her voice was translated into hundreds of languages simultaneously.
What
We
is the
speak for the
status of the
alliance
deep
of free
space
organizations
fleet?
that your
They are
so-called
holding
governments have
position,
failed to control.
awaiting our command.
The humans
We
have
must
declared
vote
war on
now.
us without provocation. They have murdered our people without trial or negotiation. The image changed to show hundreds of human prisoners in cages. Men, women, even children taken from the attacked colonies and ships. They looked terrified but unharmed. We hold over 300 human civilians, Quintex
What is the
continued.
status of the deep
Our demands
space
are
fleet?
simple.
They
The
are
human
holding
government
position,
will withdraw
awaiting
all
our
military
command.
forces from the outer
We
rim.
must vote now.
They will pay compensation for the organizations they have destroyed. They will agree to follow galactic law and negotiate future disputes through proper diplomatic channels. The transmission showed close-ups of the prisoners. A young girl clutching a torn doll. An elderly man staring at the camera with dignity despite
What is the
his
status
fear.
of the deep
A woman
space
holding her
fleet?
baby close to her
They
chest.
are holding position,
You have
awaiting
72
our
hours
command.
to respond, Quintex
We must
said.
vote now.
For every hour after that deadline, we will execute 10 prisoners. The galaxy will see what happens when a species refuses to follow civilized behavior. The transmission ended. Within minutes, every major news network in the galaxy was covering the story. Political commentators debated the situation.
What is the status of the deep
Most agreed
space
that
fleet?
humanity would have
They
to
are holding
negotiate.
position, awaiting
No
our
species
command.
had ever refused to
We
bargain
must
for the
vote
lives
now.
of their own people. On the diplomatic station, Ambassador Elena Vasquez watched the transmission with representatives from dozens of species. The room was silent when it ended. Finally, High Counselor Thek spoke. Ambassador, surely your government will negotiate now.
What
These
is the
are innocent
status of
lives
the
we're
deep
talking
space
about.
fleet?
Your own people.
They are holding position,
Elena's face was
awaiting
calm,
our
but her
command.
hands were clenched into
We
fists.
must vote now.
High Counselor, humanity's position has not changed. We do not negotiate with murderers. But they're your own people, Representative Cole exclaimed. Your own children? Yes, Elena said quietly. They are. And every moment we spend in negotiations is another moment those criminals remain
What is the
alive to
status of
threaten
the
more
deep
innocents.
space fleet?
How many other
They
species
are holding
have children
position,
in slavery
awaiting
right now?
our command.
Because the
We
galaxy
must
chooses
vote
to
now.
negotiate instead of act. The room erupted in shocked voices. Several representatives began speaking at once, their translator devices creating a chaos of overlapping languages. Elena raised her hand for silence. I know this is difficult for you to understand, she said. Your civilizations have
status
spent
of the deep
thousands of
space
years
fleet?
learning to compromise.
They are holding
to
position,
find middle ground
awaiting
to
our
negotiate
command.
solutions that
We
everyone
must
can live
vote
with.
now.
But some things cannot be compromised with. Elder Wayne of the Ancient Covenant leaned forward. Ambassador, are you saying your government would sacrifice those prisoners rather than negotiate? I'm saying, Elena replied, that if we negotiate with these criminals, we tell every other
What is the
criminal
status of
organization
the
in the
deep
galaxy
space fleet?
that taking
They
human
are holding
hostages
position,
is an effective
awaiting our
strategy.
command.
We tell
We
them
must
that murder
vote
and slavery
now.
are acceptable tools for forcing us to comply with their demands. But the cost, Minister Dal whispered. Those innocent lives. Elena's voice was steady, but there was pain in her eyes. The cost of negotiating is higher. How many more will die if we teach the galaxy that threatening human
What is the
civilians
status
gets
of the
results?
deep space
How many
fleet?
more species will
They are
suffer
holding
under criminal
position,
rule,
awaiting
while
our
we engage
command.
in endless diplomatic
must vote
processes?
now.
Meanwhile, aboard the UES Retribution, Captain Marcus was receiving new orders from Earth Command. The message was brief and direct. Execute Criminal Elimination Protocol 7. No negotiations. Locate and eliminate all hostile forces. Rescue hostages if possible.
What is the
But mission
status of the
priority
deep
is
space
complete
fleet?
destruction of criminal
They are holding
alliance.
position, awaiting
Marcus
our command.
read the orders twice,
We must
then
vote
called
now.
his senior staff to the briefing room. Commander Sarah Park, his tactical officer, was the first to arrive. Lieutenant James Wilson, the intelligence specialist, came next. Chief Engineer Maria Santos completed the group. Orders from Earth Command, Marcus said without preamble. We're going
What is the
after all of
status
them.
of the deep space
The
fleet?
entire criminal alliance.
They are holding position,
No negotiations,
awaiting our
no
command.
surrender accepted,
We
complete
must
elimination.
vote now.
Commander Park studied the tactical display. Sir, the hostages. The transmission showed they're holding over 300 civilians. I know, Marcus said. Intelligence estimates suggest they're being held on 3 different locations. Mobile prison ships that can jump to hyperspace if threatened.
What is the status of the
Lieutenant
Deep
Wilson
Space
activated
Fleet?
his data pad.
They are holding
Sir, I've
position,
been analyzing
awaiting
the
our
transmission.
command.
The
We must
background
vote
details in the
now.
recording suggest locations near the Corvin home system, the synthetic manufacturing hub, and the Nexus main trading post. 3 targets. 3 different organizations, Marcus said. They're expecting us to choose which group to negotiate with first. They're expecting us to try to minimize
What is the
casualties by making
status of the
deals.
Deep Space Fleet?
Chief Santos looked
They
up
are
from her
holding
engineering
position,
reports.
awaiting our
Sir,
command.
with respect, how do we
We
rescue
must
the
vote
hostages
now.
if we're not negotiating? Marcus was quiet for a moment. Then he activated the ship's communication system. All hands, this is the captain. In 20 minutes, we will receive a response to the criminal demands from Earth Command. That response will be broadcast across the galaxy. I
What
want
is
you
the
all to
status of
understand
the
what
Deep
we're about
Space
to do
Fleet?
and why we're doing
They
it.
are holding
He
position,
paused,
awaiting
looking at
our
each of his
command.
senior officers.
We must
Those
vote
criminals
now.
are holding our people hostage because they believe we will choose their lives over our principles. They believe we will compromise with murderers to save innocents. They are wrong. The ship was silent except for the hum of the engines. Marcus continued, "We will not abandon our people. We
What
will
is the
rescue them if
status
we
of the
can.
Deep Space Fleet?
But we will not teach the
They are
galaxy
holding
that
position,
threatening human
awaiting our
civilians
command.
is an effective strategy.
We must vote
The cost
now.
is too high." 20 minutes later, the response came. It was not from a diplomat or a politician. It was from Admiral Torres, the highest-ranking officer in the human fleet. His image appeared on screens across the galaxy. "To the criminal alliance holding our people," he said, his voice calm
What is the
and clear.
status of the Deep
Humanity's
Space Fleet?
response is simple.
They are holding
We do
position,
not negotiate with
awaiting our
murderers.
command.
We
We
eliminate
must
them.
vote now.
He paused, letting the words sink in across the galaxy. "You have 72 hours to release our people unharmed and surrender yourselves for justice. After that, we will hunt you down and destroy you completely. There will be no negotiation. There will be no compromise. There will be no mercy."
What is the status of
transmission
the Deep
ended.
Space
The
Fleet?
galaxy watched in
They are
stunned
holding
silence.
position,
No
awaiting
species
our
had
command.
ever responded to hostage
We must
demands
vote
with a counter
now.
threat. No civilization had ever chosen war over negotiation when their own people's lives were at stake. On the Nexus slaver ship holding the human prisoners, Overseer Quintex stared at the blank screen where Admiral Torres's image had been. Her tentacles writhed
What is the
in
status
agitation.
of the Deep Space
"They're
Fleet?
bluffing," she said
They are
to her
holding position,
subordinates.
awaiting
No
our
species
command.
would sacrifice their own
We must
people.
vote now.
They'll negotiate. They have to. But deep down, as she looked at the calm faces of the human prisoners, she began to doubt. These humans didn't look like people who expected rescue through diplomacy. They looked like people who expected their government to avenge them. The galaxy held its breath.
What is the
In less
status
than
of the Deep
72
Space
hours,
Fleet?
they would discover whether
They are
humanity
holding
really
position,
meant what they
awaiting
said.
our command.
Whether a
We
species
must
could be
vote
so
now.
committed to their principles that they would choose war over compromise, even when their own children's lives hung in the balance. The criminals were about to learn that humans meant exactly what they said. And they were about to discover that some species considered the complete elimination of evil
What
more
is the
important
status
than
of the
any
Deep
individual
Space
life,
Fleet?
even
They
their
are
own.
holding position,
The
awaiting
hunt
our
began
command.
exactly 72
We must
hours
vote
after Admiral
now.
Torres's transmission. It started simultaneously across 12 different star systems, coordinated to the second by Human Fleet Command. No warnings were given, no final chances offered. The human response was swift, systematic, and absolute. Captain Marcus Chen led the assault
What is
on the
the
Corvin
status
Blood
of the
Fleet's
Deep
main
Space
stronghold
Fleet?
in the Terminus
They are
Nebula.
holding position,
His task
awaiting
force
our
consisted
command.
of 6 heavy
We
cruisers
must
and
vote
2
now.
destroyer squadrons. They dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the system and immediately began scanning for targets. "Contacts," reported Commander Park from the tactical station. 47 Corvin vessels, various classes. They're moving to defensive positions around the asteroid base.
What is the status of
Marcus
the Deep
studied
Space
the tactical
Fleet?
display.
They are holding
The Corvin had
position,
chosen their
awaiting our
location well.
command.
The
We must
asteroid
vote
field would
now.
make targeting difficult, and they had plenty of cover for hit-and-run attacks. It was a strong defensive position that would normally require weeks of careful planning to assault. "Time estimate for standard siege tactics?" Marcus asked. 3 to 4 weeks minimum, Park replied. "The asteroid field gives
What is
them
the
too many
status of the
advantages.
Deep Space Fleet?
We don't have 3 weeks,
They are
Marcus
holding
said.
position,
Our
awaiting
people are
our
being held
command.
somewhere in this
We
system.
must vote now.
Commander Santos, what's the status on our new mining charges?" Chief Engineer Santos checked her readings. "All ships report mining charges armed and ready, sir. Enough firepower to crack a small moon." Marcus nodded. The mining charges were supposed to be used for asteroid mining and planetary construction.
What
Today,
is the
they would serve
status
a
of the
different
Deep
purpose.
Space Fleet?
All ships
They are
prepare to
holding
fire
position,
mining charges
awaiting
into the
our
asteroid
command.
field.
We
Pattern
must
Delta
vote
7.
now.
There was a moment of silence on the bridge. Pattern Delta 7 meant saturating the entire asteroid field with explosives. It would destroy the Corvin base, but it would also eliminate any chance of taking prisoners or recovering stolen goods. Sir, Lieutenant Wilson said carefully, Pattern Delta 7 will
What is the
destroy
status
everything
of the
in the
Deep
field.
Space Fleet?
If they're holding
They
hostages
are holding
there,
position,
they
awaiting
knew
our
the
command.
consequences when they
We
took
must
our people.
vote now.
Marcus replied. Fire when ready. The mining charges launched in perfect coordination. Massive explosives designed to crack asteroids for easy mining instead detonated throughout the Corvin stronghold. The asteroid field lit up like a miniature sun as dozens of explosions tore through rock
What is
and
the
metal
status
alike.
of the Deep Space Fleet?
When the light faded,
They are holding
the asteroid
position,
field was
awaiting
gone.
our command.
In its place was
We must
expanding
vote
debris
now.
and the wreckage of what had once been the most powerful pirate fleet in the galaxy. There were no survivors. 3 systems away, Commander Lisa Park was leading a different kind of operation. Her Special Forces team had tracked down a synthetic liberation front facility on the industrial world of Mechanus
What is
Prime.
the status of the Deep Space
Unlike
Fleet?
the Corvin base,
They are holding
this target was
position,
in a populated
awaiting our
area,
command.
making direct
We must
assault
vote
impossible.
now.
Facility is underground, reported Sergeant Miller through his suit's communication system, 50 meters below the main city. Intel suggests they're converting captured organics into cyborg slaves. Lisa checked her team's position on the tactical map. 20 human special forces operators
What is the
against
status
an
of the
unknown
Deep
number of
Space
synthetic
Fleet?
forces in their
They
own
are holding
territory.
position,
Under normal
awaiting our
circumstances,
command.
it would be
We
considered a
must vote
suicide mission.
now.
Rules of engagement? Asked Corporal Davis. Same as always, Lisa replied. Eliminate all hostile forces. Rescue prisoners if possible. Leave no infrastructure intact. The team moved through the city's maintenance tunnels like ghosts. The Synthetic Liberation
What is
Front
the
had
status
chosen
of
their
the Deep
location,
Space Fleet?
believing that no
They are
government
holding
would risk
position,
civilian
awaiting our
casualties in an
command.
assault.
We must vote
They had not
now.
counted on humanity's willingness to accept those risks when the alternative was allowing evil to continue. The assault began at exactly 0300 local time. Lisa's team struck at 6 different access points simultaneously, using shaped charges to breach the underground facility's defenses.
What is the status
The
of the Deep
synthetic
Space
forces were
Fleet?
caught completely off
They
guard.
are holding position,
Contact
awaiting our
front,
command.
reported Sergeant
We
Miller
must
as
vote
cybernetic
now.
guards responded to the intrusion, engaging. The battle was brief but intense. Human soldiers moved through the facility with devastating efficiency, their training and equipment giving them every advantage. The synthetic forces had expected negotiation, preparation time, and advance warning.
What is the status
got
of
none
the
of
Deep
those
Space
things.
Fleet?
Prisoner
They are holding
area secured,
position,
reported
awaiting
Corporal
our
Davis.
command.
Approximately
We must vote
200
now.
beings of various species, including 30 humans, all alive, condition unknown. Lisa moved through the facility's control center, downloading everything from their computer systems while her team placed demolition charges. Intelligence package secured. Facility will be destroyed in 10 minutes.
What is the status
As
of
they
the Deep Space
evacuated
Fleet?
with the rescued prisoners,
They are
one of
holding
the 3
position,
humans grabbed
awaiting
Lisa's
our
arm.
command.
The others,
We must
the woman
vote
said
now.
urgently. They split us up. The humans are on a ship somewhere else. We'll find them, Lisa promised, and we'll find everyone responsible for putting you here. The underground facility exploded exactly 10 minutes later, sending shockwaves through the city above. The
What is the
Synthetic
status of
Liberation
the Deep
Front's main
Space Fleet?
processing center was
They
gone,
are holding position,
along with all
awaiting
their
our
equipment,
command.
data, and leadership.
We must vote now.
Meanwhile, in the Nexus Slaver's main trading post, Overseer Quintex was watching reports of the human attacks with growing alarm. The Corvin Blood Fleet was gone. The Synthetic Liberation Front had lost their primary facility. The humans were not negotiating.
What is
They
the
were not trying
status
to
of the Deep
minimize
Space
casualties.
Fleet?
They
They
were
are
simply
holding
destroying
position,
everything.
awaiting our command.
Status report.
We must
She
vote
demanded
now.
from her subordinates. Both Corvin and Synthetic leadership confirmed eliminated, reported her intelligence chief. Human forces are moving on all known criminal organization assets simultaneously. No prisoners being taken. Quintex's tentacles writhed in agitation.
What is
What
the
about our
status of the
hostages?
Deep Space
Surely
Fleet?
they'll negotiate
They
for
are
their
holding
own people.
position,
No
awaiting our
communication
command.
attempts detected.
We must
They
vote
appear
now.
to be treating the hostages as acceptable losses. The concept was alien to Quintex. Every species in the galaxy valued individual life over abstract principles. Every government would negotiate to save their own people. It was the foundation of how criminal organizations operated.
What is the status of the
Increased
Deep
security
Space
around
Fleet?
the prison ship. She
They are
ordered.
holding position,
Prepare to jump to the
awaiting our
backup
command.
location.
We must
Ma'am,
vote now.
Her tactical officer interrupted. We're detecting human ships dropping out of hyperspace at the system edge. Quintex moved to the main display. 3 human heavy cruisers were advancing toward their position, moving at attack speed with weapons powered up. Open a channel, she ordered.
What
They'll
is
want
the
to
status
negotiate
of
for
the
their
Deep
people.
Space Fleet?
The communication
They are holding
request was
position,
sent.
awaiting our
For
command.
several minutes, there was no
We
response.
must vote now.
Then, unexpectedly, the humans accepted the call. The face that appeared on screen was Admiral Torres himself. Overseer Quintex, he said calmly. Release our people immediately and surrender yourself for trial. Admiral, Quintex replied, forcing confidence into her voice.
What is the status of the
Surely
Deep
we can
Space
reach an
Fleet?
agreement.
They are
I
holding
hold over
position,
100 of your
awaiting
people,
our
including
command.
children.
We must
You
vote
cannot simply
now.
attack us. Torres's expression didn't change. You have 5 minutes to release them and surrender. After that, you will be destroyed. You're bluffing, Quintex said. No species would sacrifice their own people for abstract principles. Name your terms. Territory, technology,
What is the
credit.
status of the Deep
Everything
Space
is
Fleet?
negotiable.
They are
Torres
holding
was quiet
position,
for a long moment.
awaiting our command.
When he spoke, his voice
We
was
must
perfectly
vote
calm.
now.
You don't understand, Overseer. We're not here to negotiate. We're here to eliminate you. Whether our people survive is up to you. The communication ended. Quintex stared at the blank screen in shock. In 3,000 years of criminal operations, she had never encountered anything like this.
What is the status of
No
the Deep
species
Space
had ever
Fleet?
refused to negotiate
They are
for their
holding
own
position,
people.
awaiting our
Ma'am,
command.
Her tactical
We
officer
must
said
vote
urgently.
now.
The humans are launching fighters. Attack formation. Quintex made a decision that went against every instinct she had developed in her long criminal career. Release the human prisoners, she ordered. Put them in escape pods and launch them toward the human ships. Ma'am, do it now.
What is the status
Maybe
of
if
the
we give
Deep
them back
Space
their
Fleet?
people, they'll
They
be
are
willing
holding
to
position,
negotiate.
awaiting our
The
command.
escape pods launched
We
just
must
as the
vote
human
now.
fighters reached weapons range. For a moment, Quintex thought her gamble had worked. The human ships altered course to recover the pods instead of pressing their attack. Then Admiral Torres appeared on screen again. Thank you for releasing our people, Overseer. That was the right choice. So we can negotiate now?
What is the status
Quintex
of the
asked
Deep
hopefully.
Space Fleet?
No, Torres replied.
They are holding position,
Now you die with
awaiting
a slightly
our
cleaner
command.
conscience.
We must
The
vote
attack
now.
resumed immediately. Human fighters tore through the Nexus defenses like they weren't there. The criminal organization ships were destroyed one by one, systematically and efficiently. Quintex's final transmission was a desperate plea for mercy that went unanswered. When the battle ended,
What is the
Nexus
status of
slavers'
the
main
Deep
trading
Space
post
Fleet?
was a field of
They
debris.
are holding position,
Their prison
awaiting our
ships were
command.
destroyed.
We
Their
must
leadership
vote
eliminated,
now.
their infrastructure obliterated. Like the Corvin Blood Fleet and the Synthetic Liberation Front, they simply ceased to exist. Across the galaxy, reports came in of similar attacks. Human forces had struck at every known criminal organization asset simultaneously.
What is the status
Pirate
of the
bases,
Deep Space
slave
Fleet?
markets, smuggling
They are holding
operations,
position,
and illegal
awaiting
weapons
our
dealers
command.
were all hit at the same
We
time.
must vote now.
It was the largest coordinated military operation in galactic history. The message was clear. Humanity had declared war not just on the alliance that had taken their people, but on organized crime itself. The aftermath of humanity's massive criminal elimination operation
What is the status of the
sent
Deep
shockwaves
Space
through
Fleet?
galactic civilization.
They are holding position,
that reached
awaiting
far
our
beyond
command.
the destroyed criminal
We must
organizations.
vote now.
Within weeks, the ripple effects were being felt on every inhabited world in known space. On the peaceful world of Melodia Prime, Minister Kelvin stood before the Planetary Council with a proposal that would have been unthinkable just months earlier. The Melodians were known throughout the galaxy for their gentle
What is
nature
the status of
and
the Deep
absolute
Space
commitment
Fleet?
to nonviolence.
They are holding position,
They had never
awaiting our
maintained a
command.
military force,
We must
preferring
vote
to
now.
rely on diplomacy and galactic law for protection. Esteemed counselors, Minister Kelvin began, his melodious voice carrying easily through the crystal chambers. For 47 years, our trade routes have been plagued by pirate attacks. We have filed over 3,000 formal complaints with the
What is
Galactic
the status
Council.
of the Deep
We have
Space
participated
Fleet?
in countless
They are
diplomatic
holding position,
negotiations.
awaiting our
We have
command.
paid protection fees,
We must
tribute,
vote
and
now.
ransom demands totaling billions of credits. The council listened in their traditional respectful silence. Minister Kelvin continued. Last week, a single human task force eliminated the pirate organization that has terrorized our shipping for nearly 5 decades. They did this in 18
What is the
hours.
status of the Deep
No
Space Fleet?
negotiations.
They are
No
holding
payments,
position,
no compromise,
awaiting our
just
command.
Results.
We must vote now.
Elder Harmony, the oldest member of the council, raised her hand. Minister Kelvin, surely you are not suggesting that we abandon our commitment to peaceful resolution. I am suggesting, Kelvin replied carefully, that we formally request human assistance in securing our trade routes. Not for violence,
What is the
but for
status of the
protection.
deep space
The humans
fleet?
have proven that some
They are holding
problems cannot
position,
be solved
awaiting
through
our
gentle
command.
means.
We
The
must
council
vote
chamber
now.
filled with the soft harmonies that indicated deep discussion among the Melodians. After several hours of debate, they reached a decision that surprised many galactic observers. The Melodian Collective, one of the galaxy's most pacifist civilizations, formally requested human military
What is
protection
the
for their
status of
merchant
the deep
vessels.
space fleet?
The request was
They are
approved
holding
within
position,
hours.
awaiting our command.
Meanwhile,
We
in
must
the warrior
vote
halls
now.
of the Thrakari Empire, General Koroth was having a very different conversation with his military advisors. The Thrakari were one of the galaxy's premier warrior cultures, proud of their military traditions and combat prowess. They had always viewed humans as competent but unremarkable fighters.
What is the status
Report
of the
on
deep
human
space
military
fleet?
capabilities.
They are holding
Koroth
position,
commanded.
awaiting our
Colonel
command.
Vex stepped forward.
We must vote
his
now.
battle scars visible even through his ceremonial armor. General, we must revise our previous assessments. The human operations were not just successful, they were unprecedented. Explain. Sir, they eliminated over 400 criminal strongholds simultaneously across multiple
What is
star
the
systems.
status of the deep
Perfect
space
coordination,
fleet?
overwhelming
They
force,
are holding
0
position,
prisoners taken.
awaiting our
but that's
command.
not what concerns me.
We must vote
Koroth's
now.
eyes narrowed. Continue. It's their methodology, sir. They don't fight wars. They fight extinctions. When they decide an enemy needs to be eliminated, they don't defeat them. They erase them completely. Another colonel spoke up. Sir, I served as a military observer during the Centauri Rebellion.
What is the status of
I've
the
seen
deep
species
space
fight
fleet?
defensive wars,
They are
territorial
holding
wars,
position,
even wars of
awaiting
conquest.
our command.
But the humans fight
We must
elimination
vote
wars.
now.
They don't stop until the enemy ceases to exist as a concept. General Koroth was quiet for a long time. Finally, he spoke. Are you telling me that a species we considered minor players in galactic politics has developed the most effective military doctrine in known space?
What is the
Sir,
status of the deep
Colonel
space
Vex replied.
fleet? They
I'm
are
telling
holding
you that if
position,
the humans
awaiting
ever
our
decided the
command.
Thrakari Empire
We
was
must
a threat
vote
to innocent
now.
life, we would not survive the experience. The room fell silent. For a warrior culture that prided itself on its military superiority, this was a sobering realization. On the Altarian homeworld, President Zhen was meeting with her cabinet to
What is
discuss
the
a
status
problem
of
that
the
was
deep
spreading
space
across
fleet?
the galaxy.
They are holding
The
position,
Altarians
awaiting
had always
our
prided
command.
themselves on their
We must
diplomatic
vote
skills and their
now.
ability to find peaceful solutions to any conflict. Madam President, said Foreign Minister Cole, we're receiving requests for military assistance from over 30 different systems. They all want human-style solutions to their criminal problems. And our response? We've been offering traditional
What
diplomatic
is the status
mediation
of the deep
services,
space fleet?
negotiated
They are
settlements,
holding
prisoner
position,
exchanges,
awaiting our
economic
command.
incentives for behavioral
We must vote
change.
now.
The standard approaches that have worked for centuries. President Zhen reviewed the reports on her data pad. Success rate? Minister Call looked uncomfortable. 0%, Madam President. Every government that has tried diplomatic solutions since the human operations has been told by criminal organizations
What is the status of the
that they
deep
need
space
to speak
fleet?
to the humans
They are holding
if they
position,
want real results.
awaiting our command. We
Meaning?
must vote now.
The criminals are no longer taking our diplomatic efforts seriously. They've learned that humans can eliminate them completely, so they view traditional negotiation as meaningless. They either want to negotiate directly with humans, or they want guarantees that humans won't be involved. President Zhen
What
set
is the
down her data
status of the
pad.
deep space
So
fleet?
humanity's refusal to
They are holding
negotiate
position,
has made
awaiting
negotiation
our
impossible
command.
for everyone else.
We must vote
Essentially,
now.
yes. The criminal organizations now know that complete elimination is possible. Diplomatic solutions only work if all parties believe that's the worst-case scenario. The humans have changed the rules. 3 star systems away, Commander Vrak of what had once been the Corvin Blood Fleet was learning this
What is
lesson
the status
firsthand.
of the deep
He was
space
one of
fleet?
only 12 Corvin
They are holding
pirates who had
position,
survived the
awaiting
human
our
assault on their
command.
main base.
We must
He had
vote
escaped only
now.
because he had been commanding a small raid on a merchant convoy when the humans struck. Now he sat in a hidden asteroid base with the remnants of his fleet, trying to figure out what to do next. His communication officer brought him news that made his situation even worse. Commander, we're receiving surrender offers
What
from
is the
3 different
status of the
planetary
deep
governments.
space fleet?
They're offering
They
full
are holding
amnesty and
position,
resettlement
awaiting
packages
our
if we agree
command.
to stop raiding
We
their
must
shipping.
vote now.
Vrak looked at the messages with bitter amusement.
Standard diplomatic packages?
Yes, sir. Full pardons. Monetary compensation, even territory if we agree to legitimate business operations. And if we refuse, they threaten to contact the humans. Frack laughed, but there was
What is
no
the
humor in
status
it.
of the deep space
Do they
fleet?
understand that the
They are
humans
holding
don't take
position,
surrender,
awaiting our
that
command.
they don't offer amnesty,
We must vote
that they
now.
don't distinguish between small-time raiders and major criminal organizations? Apparently not, sir. Should I respond to the offers? Frack thought about his options. He could accept one of the surrender deals and try to live a legitimate life. He could continue raiding and hope the humans never found
What
him.
is the status of
Or
the
he could
deep
try to
space
rebuild
fleet?
the blood fleet and
They are
challenge
holding
human
position,
supremacy.
awaiting our
Send
command.
responses to all
We
three
must
governments,
vote
he
now.
decided. Tell them we accept their surrender offers. Sir, you heard me. We're done being criminals. The humans have made that career too dangerous to continue. Similar conversations were happening throughout the galaxy. Criminal organizations that had operated for centuries were disbanding.
What is the
rather
status
than
of the
risk
deep
human
space
attention.
fleet? They are
Some
holding
tried to go
position,
legitimate.
awaiting our command.
Others simply
We must
disappeared into
vote
the depths
now.
of space. A few attempted to continue operations but found that their traditional targets were now under human protection. Dr. Sarah Kim was documenting these changes from her position on the diplomatic station. Her research was revealing patterns that surprised even her. Crime rates
What
have
is the
dropped by
status of the deep
68% in
space
systems
fleet?
with human military
They are holding
presence,
position,
she noted
awaiting
in
our
her
command.
latest report.
We
But
must
more
vote
interestingly,
now.
crime rates have dropped by 42% in systems where no humans are present but where local governments have announced they will request human assistance if needed. She paused in her writing to review the data again. The numbers were remarkable. The mere threat of human intervention
What is the
appears to be
status
as
of the deep
effective as
space
actual
fleet?
human intervention.
They are holding position,
Criminal
awaiting
organizations
our
are
command.
avoiding activities that
We
might
must
attract
vote
human
now.
attention, even when no humans are present in the area. Dr. Kim's research was interrupted by an urgent communication from the Centauri government. Minister Dahl appeared on her screen, looking more serious than she had ever seen him. Dr. Kim, we need human assistance. The Black Star Syndicate
What
has
is the
taken over
status
3
of
of
the
our
deep
outer
space
colonies.
fleet? They
They're
are holding
demanding tribute
position,
payments and
awaiting
threatening
our
to sell our
command.
people into slavery
We must
if we don't
vote
comply.
now.
Have you tried diplomatic solutions? Dr. Kim asked, though she already knew the answer. We sent negotiators. The syndicate's response was to execute them and send us the recording. They said they don't negotiate with human puppets, and that if we want our people back, we need to send real
What is
decision
the
makers.
status of the deep
Dr.
space
Kim
fleet?
made a note in her files.
They are holding position, awaiting
I'll
our
forward your
command.
request to Earth Command.
We must vote
You
now.
should have a response within 6 hours. The response came in 4 hours. A human task force would arrive at the Centauri colonies within 48 hours. No negotiation attempts would be made. The Black Star Syndicate would be eliminated completely. When Minister Dahl received the message, he
What
felt
is
a
the
mixture
status
of
of the
relief
deep
and
space
unease.
fleet?
Relief
They are
that his
holding
people would be
position,
saved.
awaiting our command.
Unease at the methods
We
that
must
would be
vote
used to
now.
save them. But as he looked at the reports of human effectiveness throughout the galaxy, he realized that his unease was less important than the results. For the first time in galactic history, criminal organizations were afraid. Not just cautious, but genuinely terrified of the consequences
What
of
is
their
the
actions.
status of the deep space
6
fleet?
months after the great
They are
criminal
holding
elimination
position,
operations,
awaiting our command.
Ambassador
We
Elena
must vote
Vasquez
now.
stood before the Galactic Council for what many expected to be humanity's final diplomatic appearance. The galaxy had changed dramatically, and not everyone was happy about those changes. The council chamber was more crowded than Elena had ever seen it. Representatives from over
What
200
is the status
species
of the
filled
deep
seats,
space fleet?
and their emotions
They are
were
holding
clearly
position,
visible despite the
awaiting our
various forms
command.
of alien
We
physiology.
must vote now.
Some faces showed gratitude, others displayed fear. A few showed open hostility. High Counselor Thex called the session to order with his traditional ceremonial chime. His blue skin had returned to its normal color, but Elena could see the stress lines around his eyes.
What is the
Ambassador
status of
Vasquez,
the deep space
Thex
fleet?
began formally.
They are holding
This council
position,
has called this
awaiting
emergency
our
session
command.
to address the
We must vote
consequences
now.
of your species' recent actions. The galaxy has been fundamentally altered by human methods, and we must discuss whether these changes serve the cause of galactic peace. Elena stood calmly at the speaker's podium. She had expected this confrontation for months.
What is
High
the
Counselor,
status of the deep
members of the
space
council,
fleet?
I am ready to
They
address
are
your
holding
concerns.
position, awaiting our
Representative
command.
Cole of the
We must
Thraxian
vote
Republic
now.
was the first to speak. Ambassador, while we acknowledge the effectiveness of human methods, we must question their sustainability. Your species has eliminated criminal organizations that had existed for centuries. But what happens when you decide that a legitimate government poses a threat to
What is the
innocent
status
life?
of the deep
Elena
space
met his
fleet?
gaze directly.
They are holding position,
Representative Cole,
awaiting our
humans
command.
have no interest in
We must
legitimate
vote
governments.
now.
We have no desire to control other species or impose our will on peaceful civilizations. Our only goal is the protection of innocent life from those who would destroy it for profit. But who decides what constitutes a threat? Asked Minister Vale of the Synthetic Confederation. Your
What is the
species
status
makes
of
these
the Deep
determinations
Space Fleet?
unilaterally without
They are holding
consultation
position,
or oversight.
awaiting our command.
The same way
We
any
must
species
vote
decides.
now.
Elena replied. We investigate thoroughly, gather evidence, and act on clear proof of criminal behavior. The difference is that we act decisively instead of engaging in endless debates while innocents suffer. Elder Wayne of the Ancient Covenant raised his hand for recognition.
What is the status of
Ambassador,
the Deep Space Fleet?
My species has received
They are holding
requests
position,
from over 40
awaiting
different
our
governments
command.
asking us to
We must
intercede
vote
with humanity
now.
on their behalf. They fear that any action they take might be misinterpreted as criminal behavior. Elena nodded. Elder Wayne, I understand their concern. But let me ask you this. In the past 6 months, how many of those governments have engaged in activities that harm innocent beings?
What is the
Well,
status of the Deep
none
Space
that I'm aware
Fleet?
of.
They are
Then
holding
they have
position,
nothing to fear
awaiting
from
our
humanity.
command.
We target
We
criminal
must vote
organizations,
now.
not legitimate governments. We target those who profit from murder, slavery, and suffering, not those who protect their people and respect life. The debate continued for hours. Species after species raised concerns about human methods, human authority, and human intentions. But as
What
the
is the
session
status of
progressed,
the
a
Deep
pattern
Space
emerged
Fleet?
that even Elena
They are
found
holding
surprising.
position, awaiting our
Minister
command.
Dal of the Centauri
We
Union
must
spoke
vote
near
now.
the end of the session. Honored counselors, with respect, I believe we are focusing on the wrong questions. Instead of debating whether human methods are appropriate, perhaps we should examine their results. He activated a holographic display showing galactic crime statistics. In
What
the
is the
6 months
status
since
of the
human
Deep
operations
Space Fleet?
began,
They are
violent
holding
crime has
position,
decreased by
awaiting our
73%
command.
across all
We must
monitored
vote
systems.
now.
Piracy has virtually disappeared from major trade routes. Slavery operations have been reduced by 89%. The numbers hung in the air. Impossible to ignore. Minister Dahl continued. More importantly, we have rescued over 100,000 beings from slavery,
What is the
protected
status of the
countless
Deep
innocent
Space
lives,
Fleet?
and seen
They
the
are holding
emergence of
position,
safe travel
awaiting
corridors
our
for the
command.
first time in galactic
We
history.
must vote now.
Representative Cole shifted uncomfortably. But at what cost? The complete destruction of organizations that could have been reformed, rehabilitated, or redirected toward legitimate activities. With respect, Minister Dahl replied, my government spent 40
What is the
years attempting
status
to
of the
reform
Deep
the
Space
Corvin
Fleet?
Blood Fleet through
They
diplomatic
are holding
means.
position,
The
awaiting our
result was
command.
40 years of
We
continued
must vote
suffering for their
now.
victims. The humans eliminated them in 18 hours. Elder Wayne raised another concern. But the precedent, Minister Dell. What happens when another species decides to adopt human methods? What if a militaristic civilization decides that their neighbors constitute a threat to
What is the
innocent life?
status of the Deep
Ellen
Space
stepped
Fleet?
forward.
They are
Elder
holding
Wayne,
position,
that
awaiting
concern
our
assumes
command.
that human methods
We
can
must
be easily
vote
copied.
now.
They cannot. Our approach requires not just military capability, but absolute commitment to the protection of innocent life above all other considerations, including our own lives. She paused, looking around the chamber. How many species in this room would
What is
sacrifice
the
their own
status of the
people
Deep Space
rather
Fleet?
than negotiate
They
with
are holding
murderers?
position,
How
awaiting
many
our
would choose
command.
war over compromise
We must
when their
vote
own
now.
children's lives are at stake? The chamber was silent. Elena continued. Human methods work because they are based on principles that cannot be faked or imitated for political gain. You cannot pretend to value innocent life above your own survival. You either do or you don't. The session was
What is the
interrupted by
status
an
of the
urgent
Deep Space
communication
Fleet?
from the outer rim.
They are holding
High
position,
Counselor Thex
awaiting
received
our
the message
command.
with visible concern.
We must vote now.
Counselors, he announced, we have received a distress call from the Zeta Reticuli system. A new criminal organization calling itself the Galactic Liberation Army has taken control of 3 planets and is demanding recognition as a legitimate government. The chamber
What is
buzzed
the
with
status
nervous
of the Deep
conversation.
Space Fleet?
Elena stepped back
They
to
are
the
holding
podium.
position,
High
awaiting our
Counselor,
command.
what are their demands?
We must vote
Thex consulted
now.
his datapad. They claim to represent freedom from human tyranny and demand that all human military forces withdraw from the galaxy. They say they will execute 1,000 prisoners per day until humanity agrees to negotiate. Elena's expression didn't change, but her voice carried a cold edge.
What is
And
the
their
status
criminal
of the Deep
activities?
Space Fleet?
They appear to be
They are
operating
holding
slave
position,
markets, weapons
awaiting our
trafficking,
command.
and forced labor
We
operations
must
on all
vote
3
now.
worlds. The local populations are being held as prisoners. Elena looked around the chamber at the faces of the Galactic representatives. Many seemed to be waiting for her response, curious to see how humanity would handle this new challenge. High Counselor, Elena said clearly, humanity's
What is the
response
status
remains
of the
same.
Deep Space Fleet?
We do not negotiate
They are
with
holding
murderers.
position,
We
awaiting
eliminate
our
them.
command.
But
We must
Ambassador,
vote now.
Representative Cole protested. They call themselves a government. They claim political legitimacy. Elena's voice was steady and final. Representative Cole, they can call themselves whatever they want. They are criminals operating slave markets and murdering innocent beings. Their self-proclaimed
What is the
political
status of
is
the Deep
irrelevant.
Space Fleet?
High Counselor
They are holding
Bex leaned
position,
forward.
awaiting our
Ambassador,
command.
This
We
Galactic
must vote
Liberation
now.
Army has specifically challenged humanity. They are using your own methods against you, claiming that human influence in the galaxy constitutes a threat to freedom. Elena smiled, but there was no warmth in it. High Counselor, they are welcome to try. They will discover the same thing every
What is
other
the
criminal
status of the Deep
organization
Space
has learned.
Fleet?
We don't
They
care
are holding
what they
position,
call themselves.
awaiting our command.
We don't care what
We must
justifications
vote
they
now.
offer. We don't care what political theories they hide behind. If they harm innocents, we eliminate them. The council session ended with no formal resolution, but the message was clear. Humanity's position had not changed and would not change. Criminal organizations could rename themselves,
What is the
claim
status
political
of the Deep
legitimacy,
Space Fleet?
or wrap
They are
themselves in
holding
any
position,
ideology they
awaiting
chose.
our command.
The result
We must
would be the
vote
same.
now.
3 days later, news reports confirmed what many had expected. The Galactic Liberation Army had been eliminated completely. Their bases were destroyed, their leadership killed or captured, and their prisoners freed. The operation took exactly 19 hours from start to finish.
What is the status
The
of the
galaxy
Deep
received
Space
the
Fleet?
news with a mixture
They
of
are
relief
holding
and
position,
resignation.
awaiting our command.
Criminal organizations
We must
throughout
vote
known space
now.
began to understand a fundamental truth. There was no safe haven, no political justification, and no diplomatic solution that would protect them from humanity's justice. Dr. Sarah Kim published her final report on the galactic transformation 6 months later.
What is the
The
status
document
of the
became
Deep
required
Space
reading in
Fleet?
political,
They are holding
science
position,
and criminal justice
awaiting our
programs
command.
across hundreds of
We must vote
worlds.
now.
The human approach to criminal justice has fundamentally altered galactic civilization, she wrote. For the first time in recorded history, criminal organizations fear the consequences of their actions more than they desire the profits from those actions. This has created what can only be described
What is the
as a new
status
type
of the Deep
peace,
Space Fleet?
not the fragile peace
They are
of
holding
negotiated
position,
truces and
awaiting our
temporary
command.
agreements,
We must
but the
vote
solid
now.
peace that comes from the complete absence of those who would destroy it. Other species are beginning to adopt modified versions of human methodology. The principle of complete solution over temporary accommodation is spreading throughout galactic governmental structures. The age of treating
What is the
crime as a
status of the
manageable
Deep
problem
Space
rather
Fleet?
than a solvable one
They are holding
appears
position,
to be ending.
awaiting our command.
The report's
We
conclusion
must
became
vote
one of the
now.
most quoted documents in galactic political theory. Humanity has taught the galaxy that some evils are too great to tolerate, too dangerous to accommodate, and too destructive to negotiate with.